Welcome to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. Go for good times, go for GoMart. With me now is head men's basketball coach Bob Bolen. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, thanks for having me, and thanks for not getting snowed in and finally doing a show where we got 2 wins in a week.
I know sometimes if I'm not here, you guys still end up winning two without me. But it was two convincing wins this week. Started out in Pittsburgh at Point Park. It was a 93-73 win. You got Corey Bolen had a great week. Started out with 19 there at Point Park. Just your thoughts on the win on Wednesday?
Yeah, well, you speaking of Corey, he's really shooting the basketball at a high level. He's a much better defender than he was 2 years ago, and he's really elevated his game and doing great things for us. Back on the Point Park game, I thought we had balanced scoring. We shared the basketball. And one of the big things was 25 assists and only 7 turnovers. So, the ball is moving. When you make 35 shots and 25 of them are assisted shots, that's a good sign for your offense. And I just thought we played a real total game up at Point Park.
And it was a lot of the same things scoring-wise against Salem. It was a 100-73 victory that here on the Waco Center. Just your thoughts on Saturday's win as well.
Again, we shared the ball very well. I had 21 assists and only 7 turnovers, 4 guys in double figures, and then 3 more with 9 points. So we had balanced scoring. Shot the three pretty well. And then when that three's going in, that opens up driving lanes and really clears out things for us. And I thought it was another good team win. And we just have 3 more weeks to keep getting better before the conference tournament. And I think we're doing that right now.
And that starts this coming week with Davis and Elkins on Wednesday. Your game back of third place in the Mountain East Conference standings. Another chance for a quality win here inside the Waco Center on Wednesday. So what do you want to say to your guys as you're trying to keep the moving up on the standings?
Well, I think D&E could possibly be the most athletic team in our conference. I mean, they can go 9 deep, and they're really, really athletic. And when they get going and their confidence gets up, they've played with everybody. And we just have to be steady. Have to be steady in our defensive principles, and really battle on the boards. But I think D&E is so much better than their record indicates, and our players know how good D&E is, and we'll be ready.
And the Pioneers will end the week with West Virginia Wesleyan on Saturday in Buchanan. But, Coach, we appreciate you coming in. Good luck this coming week.
Okay, Jagger, thank you.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now is head women's basketball coach Emily Stoller. Coach, thanks for being here today.
I appreciate you for having me on.
All right, Coach, another 2-0 week last week. Started out in Pittsburgh with Point Park on Wednesday. Got down by as much as 10 in the second quarter. Came back, won by 14, 82-68. Just your thoughts on the win there.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Any win on the road is a good win, especially in the Mountain East Conference. Did not like how we started the basketball game there. We corrected it there at halftime, and the girls played definitely a better second half of basketball. But just being consistent here down the stretch, we talk about it all the time. You can't take any opponent lightly, whether they're top of the conference, middle of the conference, or bottom of the conference. And so quality win there on the road for us.
And Corinne Pinckney had 22 there at Point Park. Came back with 17 on Saturday evening to help the Lady Pioneers beat Salem 98-68 inside the Waco Center. What did you think of the team's performance on Saturday?
Yeah. Again, we mentioned Corinne Pinckney's name quite a lot. I think, all props to her teammates as well. They do a really good job at getting her involved. Good transition player. We get the ball up to her when she's supposed to get the basketball. And on the back end of that, she gives the ball up when she's supposed to give the ball up. Very unselfish basketball player. She's having a really good year for us. Win here at home against Salem, another quality win. Girls played well. We got a lot of girls in the game. We got to see a lot of faces that we haven't been able to see. I think Elsie stepped up and had a really good fourth quarter there for us. And, she's another one that's more than capable here down the stretch to step up big for this team. So excited, to get 2 wins here and heading into D&E tomorrow at home. Excited about that one as well.
You mentioned D&E. It starts the final 3 weeks of the regular season. You come in 18-3, first in the conference. What do you want to see out of your girls here to get another chance to get a win at home?
Yeah, I think D&E is one of those teams. Obviously their record doesn't show their skill set, but they're one of those teams that have the ability to come in and make some noise and beat us on our home floor tomorrow. They're very athletic. They run about the same game that we run. They like to apply pressure. They're really good defensively in the gaps. We're gonna have to work together as a team to be able to score the basketball tomorrow. And definitely one of the biggest things going into the game is being able to contain them in our press. And so excited to play the game tomorrow. We've got to definitely work together as a team to get the win.
And the Lady Pioneers finished out the week on Saturday with West Virginia Wesleyan in a big matchup there in Buchanan. But, Coach, we appreciate you coming in. Good luck this week.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now is head acrobatics and tumbling coach Taylor Broadwater. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, you're coming off the best season in school history. You lost some key pieces, but you're also able to bring back a lot of key pieces. And you added 5 newcomers, transfer, and 4 freshmen. How do you feel you constructed the roster for the 26th season?
Obviously, last year, losing our seniors, we lost a lot of talent. I'm not even going to try to discount that.
Yep.
But I do feel really good with where we're at. Obviously, it's early in season, but just trying to put the pieces together right now, and I do feel very strong about the roster that I've built this season.
And then we bring back Aubrey Ward, Savannah Duckworth, key pieces in that. Aubrey being National Freshman of the Year and Savannah being a All-American. How key was it to bring people like that back to the program in
That's
26?
solid. Obviously, like when you're keeping athletes like that, retention-wise, and then just knowing the culture of the program that we've built here and trying to instill in other athletes, like, hey, this is possible here at Glenville. Like, you can get these awards, even being from a small school. So I feel like actually watching them get that recognition last year was huge for our program and just for the dynamic within my team. Everyone was extremely supportive of those two, but just knowing that you can do that here at Glenville was big, and then bringing them back to continue and see what else they can do this year, I'm very excited about.
And with the big year you had last year, you got the preseason national ranking, number 12 in the country in the preseason NCAA national rankings. Feel any pressure with that? Do you guys recognize that? How do you guys handle that stuff?
We talk all the time. The girls will tell you, like, my favorite quote is pressure is a privilege. So we kind of live by that. That's kind of part of the standard of our program. So, yeah, it is a little bit of pressure to be ranked already coming into preseason, but I also feel lucky that that's kind of where we're at, and I'm blessed that the girls have earned this because it wasn't just handed to us. I do feel like this has come from a lot of hard work over the last few years and building this program back up to what I know it can be. So, yes, I'm glad we're ranked 12th, but, again, it's a lot to live up to, and they have high expectations set. But if we didn't have an expectation, what would we be working for? So very excited to see them get that recognition and just kind of live through that standard this season.
And I'm sure they'll feel some pressure Thursday. It's the opening meet of the year with the tri-meet with Bluefield State and Wheeling here in the Waco Center at 6 p.m. What do you want to see out of your girls as you open up the new season?
I'm just excited to see what this team's capable of, not having, had them at a meet before and seeing how they work together. Definitely excited to see what happens come Thursday, but I do think that there's a lot to be done Thursday, and just kind of getting everything set for Thursday and then figuring out how the rest of the season will go is exciting for me as a coach. I love coaching new teams, but obviously it does make you a little bit nervous when you lose what you had and, knowing the culture that we built. But I think the culture has been just as good this year as it was last year. So just trying to see what they actually execute on the floor is what I'm most excited for.
All right, Coach. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. GoMart's Holly Jolly Rewards are here. Snag specially marked items to earn bonus reward points and game tokens. Because nothing says holiday cheer like stacking rewards higher than Aunt Carol's Fruitcake Tower. Collect all 4 tokens and you'll unwrap an additional 2,500 bonus reward points. So make your list, check it twice, and head to the app for details. Get ready to slay the season with Holly Jolly Rewards at GoMart.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now is head baseball coach Jimmy Mullins. Coach, thanks for being here.
Jagger, thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, first time on the show. Coming off another good season, won 27 games last year, nearly missed out on the MEC tournament by a game. How do you feel after coming off last year you constructed this roster for the upcoming 2026 season?
Yeah, let's take a quick step back and just want to highlight the athletic department just doing huge things. We got the new football field out here being built. We've had a ton of success in our athletic programs. I think the first ever cross-country girl went to the Nationals. Wrestling team did great again. Our softball team, hot start, just goes on and on and on. Had the highest GPA out of the fall for athletic department. And by the way, across the country, athletes have a higher GPA again than a normal student. And it just shows that the work that the coaches put in here and everywhere, just really guiding their student athletes. And it's a good thing. But we got great things going on here in Glenville. And springtime's here, so we're excited to get going for that. And, yeah, I'm excited about our roster. We got a bunch of guys with some experience. We try to add to our pitching staff, but just the way things are now, retention is kind of like the new recruiting. So The guys that we've had here who, maybe got a little bit of time or didn't get a whole lot of innings, staying focused with them and making them better is more valuable than bringing in new guys sometimes. So, we got a full roster. We have more arms, I think, than we've ever had, but specifically a lot of different pitch shapes and types, and the mentality of that group is really good. We got pitching coach Brian Thomas, who's joined us. He's doing a fantastic job with those guys, just structuring their day to day, helping them with the mental game. He's got tons of experience at the college level and even the pro level and the high school level, and he just does a really good job with those guys day to day, and they're throwing the ball with confidence. And we got guys that are also hitters who've been in the league a little bit. Some of them have had good accolades. Some of them who just split time a little bit. But experience and that it's good if it's you can look back on it and see what to continue to improve on, because we've got guys with experience who have put up good numbers, but experience has to be reflective, right? So whether you had good time or bad time, if we can reflect on it and continue to get better, and I got to give credit to this group, because these guys, whether they've done good or they've done bad historically, they're refining their tools and continue to get better and better, and try to make it learning oriented, and these guys are ready to go.
And it's an opening weekend for you guys. You got Mansfield coming into Glenville, scheduled for Saturday and Sunday. It's weird here early in the season to really see what a team's made of, because you just haven't seen them play yet this year. So when you're looking at Mansfield, what have you seen out of them, from last year and coming into this season?
Yeah, so they always are solid. They're good. They usually have good arms. They do a good job. Coach Shalat does a good job with those guys. He's got actually coaching experience here in the state of West Virginia too, so he always loves coming down here. And but really, our focus more is just on ourselves, and we play against the ball. I think I've said on here before, the opponent is a nameless, faceless entity, and it just reflects on how well we've prepared. So we just got to really focus on, we have ability, but we got to have stability. We got to take our talent and refine it and keep it focused pitch to pitch. And if we do those little things well, the outcomes will be what it needs to be. But it'll be emotional. We got guys that are in their last year. It'll be exciting, things like that. It's been snow covered. It's been a crazy winter, but it's allowed us an opportunity to really slow things down and focus on little things. And I kind of love the adversity of it, just having to be creative and be inside and get our guys ready. I think there's some toughness that gets built from that, and they're excited to go. If we can control those emotions and regulate them and do the little things well, we'll see what happens.
Well, Coach, thank you for coming on, and good luck this coming weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now is head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, happy to be back, talk some wrestling.
All right, Coach, you're at the Greyhound Duels this past weekend. You faced Quincy, Maryville, and number 8 McKendree. Defeated Quincy there on that first match, fell in those last two to Maryville and McKendree. Just your overall thoughts on how the weekend transpired for you guys.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Some ups and some downs in some different spots. The Maryville duel is a duel that was very, very winnable for us. We're at the point right now where we're kind of mixing and matching and wrestling guys when they need to wrestle for March. And so, the Maryville match, we had Gabe there who actually wrestled in the Quincy match. We pulled him and just kind of letting him get healthy for there. And then we didn't have Colby either. So that's two of our best guys that, really just changes the whole thing. We got pinned at 49 and then we gave up 12 points right there.
Yeah.
That's a 18-point swing. If you just win the matches, that's a duel where you lose it to it not being close. And so, I thought we still wrestled pretty well in the Maryville match. Maybe, could have got to more attacks. The McKendree match is one of those ones where you just kind of got to swipe it and say, this didn't happen. Didn't really, last match of the day, 6 o'clock at night, didn't really have great energy. A lot of the guys were banged up. And, but it was good for us in the sense of just some of our guys got to get tougher. Before the match, you have a couple guys banged up who, and not guys who have wrestled a lot this year, that they need to be wrestling. And, they're trying to find ways, hey, you think you could wrestle so-and-so here, like my knee hurts a little bit or this, that. And it's just like, guys, we can't only want to go out there when it's perfect. It's not our sport. You're going to have to, I promise you, there's going to be something that goes wrong with your training, your whatever it is during regionals. Like, regionals is not going to be perfect for you. And if it is, you're the 1% that got lucky, right? And that's just how the sport is. And so we're obviously smart, and we're not going to wrestle our guys if we feel like we're putting them in a position to get injured, okay? But if you're a little banged up, you got to go wrestle, right? Like, that's part of it. And so, we got a little muscle strain, or we got a little something here or there, or maybe we don't feel the best. Too bad. You got to go wrestle. And so we got to get a little bit tougher. Got a little bit tougher. And that, came out a little bit, I think, after 2 duels for the day in the McKendree match. And McKendree's a good team. They're not that much better than us, that's for sure. And then you flip back and try to end this kind of talk on a positive note with the Quincy duel. Quincy's a lot better this year than they've ever been. And I thought that was the best duel that we've wrestled all year as a team. I thought we were attacking the legs really well. We controlled the hand fight in most of the matches. We did a good job on top. Gabe came back and beat the number 9 guy in the country, so that was a really big win for him. After coming off a little bit of being dinged up. Max Borton beat the guy who was number 10 in the country, which was a big win for him, and he was losing most of the match. And a very gritty match where he just kind of found a way over the 7 minutes to score some points. Nick wrestled up at heavyweight for us in that one, got a pin. Roman lost a close one, but wrestled really tough. I was pretty happy with the way he wrestled there. There are just multiple things. Kel Rossi jumped in at 41 there, and he had a really good match, did a really good job moving his feet. And Hunter Ross, came back off of a little injury too, and got him a win there in a tough match. Garrett Johnson gave Colton a little spell at 125 and looked really good. So, the Quincy duel was a really good way to start. Our biggest problem, and it's what it's been all year, and I think it's just the fact of we're very young. We're starting a lot of guys who are freshmen or redshirt freshmen or sophomores. Is inconsistency, right? I think all year we've kind of looked at, different outcomes, and it's like, ooh, man, what a weekend they had, right? And then it's everybody in the athletic department kind of being like, oh no, that was not a very good result, and it's like that's frustrating, right? That's frustrating, and no more than to me. And so, we're just trying to clean that up with some of these guys, with just the way that they wrestle, and that it can't just be I get up for big matches. You can't wrestle to the level of your competition. So we're still working. We're putting in good work. We had early practice this morning and got after it, and moving on to just kind of what we got next. But we also had a group of 10 guys that wrestled Sunday in the Open up there too, and so and those guys competed hard. I'll give kind of just the highlights of that, and Zach Parker ended up in 5th or 6th place. He lost in the quarters and then wrestled all the way back, and then I shut him down at the last one. But he looked good, probably the best that he's looked all year. I was very happy with his Open tournament. And then Leo Hess, who is a mid-year transfer, he's kind of getting going at 65. I thought he wrestled really well. He had a really good win against a Division I opponent from Southern Edwardsville and a couple others where he was just wrestling hard. I think he's a gritty wrestler, and he's working to kind of find his way maybe into the lineup here by the end of the year. And then Roman Honorado also had a pretty good day. On the other side of the 65 bracket. He's another one that just he's got to find his consistency. And sometimes he looks like he's the guy, right? And sometimes he doesn't. And so, that's just a part of it where some of these guys, they just, a lot of them in the past, we've had guys that are kind of polished. They came here 60 matches, 70 matches, and the consistency was there. We're getting a lot of guys where, you know, they've came in and had 10. They've came in and not started at all. And so they're going through that little bit of a patch, and it's normal, honestly. It's normal. It just usually we're older, right? It's the youngest we've been in a while, or at least it's the youngest we've been with a top 10 team, right? Is what I'll say. And so, you know, we're wrestling the good guys every weekend, and you know, a lot of these guys are just having mixed bag results from it, and so, you know, that's part of it. But you know, not a bad weekend. Not a bad weekend. It was busy. It was a long weekend. I'm happy it's over. And you know, drove 6 hours back on Sunday night, watching the Super Bowl, and you know, in a van with 15 dudes. You know, not the most ideal situations, but you know, overall, no, pretty good weekend. Got to get better. Got to get more consistent is the underlining, I think, thing that we took away from this weekend.
And in that search of consistency, you have another chance this coming weekend at the Ashland Duels on Sunday. And top 10 team in the country in Ashland, and then Thomas More. Just kind of what your plan there is. You know, you're mixing and matching the lineup as you get closer to regionals coming up.
Yeah, I mean, double-edged sword here on, you know, we're undefeated in the region in duels and have beat a lot of really good teams in the region. You know, having wins over both Grand Valley and Tiffin in duels that are both top 5 teams, I believe, right now. So, you know, it would be really nice to go undefeated against the region, you know, for the year in dual meets. But we also, this is really our, you know, senior night's just a little tune-up for us. This is really our last big competition, per se, before regions. So we're looking to get up there, get good scraps, and get out of there healthy. So that definitely means, you know, being smart and selective on who we wrestle and where we wrestle them at. You know, we're not going to go up there and not throw a good group at them. What that group's going to look like, though, we'll probably see here in the next couple of days. So, yeah, really, really all eyes on March right now, or, you know, I think the regional is like February 28th.
Yeah, the last day of February.
So,
same thing.
You know, all eyes really right now are on that. And so if we have a situation where it's a maybe on wrestling someone, it's going to be a no right now. So, yeah, you know, and then we got a couple spots still that we're looking to kind of solidify. You know, in my mind, probably 2 spots of our 10 are still up for grabs at this point. And so, you know, over this next week and a half, those will be solidified, and then we'll kind of move forward with what we're doing. But, you know, Thomas Moore's team has got a lot better. They got some studs in certain places. So, yeah, we gotta be ready to wrestle them. And then Ashland's tough. Ashland's a tough team, and, you know, their place is always a little tough to wrestle at. You know, went up there last year though, and had 5 guys out at this time. You know, we were getting healthy from everything, and went up there and almost knocked them off. Yep. You know, wrestled amazing. Had, you know, Wiley Hauser kind of have his coming out party where he ended up then, you know, taking the starting spot last year at 165, where, you know, he beat Nate Barrett, who was the number 6 guy in the country, and then had other couple upsets. And so, yeah, I mean, fun weekend always to go up there and wrestle Ashland and see them right before multiple guys have opportunities to help themselves in the regional rankings. And so, yeah, we'll see how that goes, and really who we're going to throw out. But again, the bottom line for this one isn't really the W; it's the you know, the process for March. But you know, it's another chance for our guys, as you said off the start, to get reps and work on that consistency. Yep. You know, if someone's got 2 goes that day, can they put together 2 goes that look eerily similar, right? Or is it 2 matches that are completely opposite? That's we talk to our guys a lot about. We should know what kind of match we want to wrestle, and if I'm going back and watching film, or some other coach is watching film, it should be similar. Right, they should be watching the same thing over and over and over again. You know, there's different ways maybe you're getting to positions, but there should be these similar positions that you're in all the matches. It shouldn't just be a wild card of, ooh, who knows what's happening now? That's what leads to inconsistency. So, we need to really get to our systems and our stuff and go from there. And hopefully that's what we see. And then we can come back. You have the last match against Salem with senior night and everything, but come back and then have a really tough week of practice and then, get these guys' bodies ready, for that last day of February in the regional tournament.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming in. Good luck this coming week.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now is head track and field coach Dan Meyers. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, you were at Marshall this past weekend. You had 28 personal best, 9 all-time marks set, and 2 school records. What did you think of how the weekend transpired for you all?
Yeah, I mean, our team was battling some sickness last week, as I'm sure a lot of sports teams are, just in the winter months. And it was another week that we unfortunately didn't get outside, and I think that will change today. But, yeah, going into that meet, I really didn't have the expectations that we'd come away with that many all-time marks and personal best just with what we've been through over the last few weeks. But it was just kudos to the kids' perseverance and hard work that just allowed us to have a great day. Marshall, they put on a great meet. We're honored to be there. And a little heat was broke in their facility, so
I heard about that.
at some times it felt like we were outside a little bit. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's still still no wind or anything like that, and it really didn't affect our racing at all. If anything, on the distance side, it was definitely a help. So. Just some different, conditions and things that we battled through last week. But, I always talk to the team about breaking down barriers and Natalie breaking under the 5-minute barrier for a female and the mile for 4:58 and was just ahead of an unattached runner that runs at Marshall and almost ran her down. But it was an aggressive race and a goal that she's been chasing for quite a while and currently ranks top in the league in that event right now. And Rory Taylor-Young that joined us in January, he's our first sub-50 guy indoors in the 400. And it's not everything that he wanted, but to go from 50.7 last week to 49.8 this week, and he threw down a 49.4 split in the 4x4. That was huge for us as well. That led our men's 4x4 team to the number 2 all-time mark. So there was a lot of big things from the meet, and honestly, it started from Friday night. We had some mostly field events. The only field event we participated in on Saturday was weight throw. But we had all field events on Friday night along with the 5Ks, and it was a long evening, but it was well worth it. Casey Mahoney in the men's shot put 14.91. Janae had another great series of throws, 5 throws over 13 meters, and she's looking to hit that national provisional mark, and every single week it's becoming a little bit more reality that there's a possible chance to do it. And just hats off to our 5K girls, going 1-2 in that race, beating some Division I runners. Jenna Barton, I mean, at this point in the program last year, we'd never have indoor or outdoor any girl on our program break 18 minutes. Natalie did it in December. Jenna did it with a 17:47 win, which was about a 40-second, about a 40-second PR for her. Katie Hicks, 18:15, a minute and 15 PR for her. Both those girls and along with Natalie are sitting very well in the conference in the 5K right now, and they'll be setting the tone for us in 2 weeks in the running event. So one of the first scoring events that we score at the indoor conference meet. So and to do it with 3 West Virginia girls, the indoor record before this year was 20:32. We now have 6 girls ahead of that mark. Just their perseverance. I mean, Natalie, Jenna, Katie, were around at best 1950 to 20 minutes when they got here, and just to see how far they've came, that was pretty special on Friday night to have them go 1-2, and we added some other good marks in those races as well. But we started out super well, and throughout the day on Saturday, we had some huge marks. MJ Daniels was number 2 in the high jump. That Casey mark I talked about is number 4 in shot put. Addie Cottrell, another slight PR to improve her number 2 all-time mark in the weight throw. Just a lot of good stuff across the board. It was awesome to have both 4x4s out there, and it seems like we're really starting to get primed up for conference. The kids are getting excited.
Yeah, the team looks like they're starting to hit their groove, and you get one last chance to do that before the conference meet this coming weekend with the Youngstown State Last Chance meet, which was added due to the bad weather earlier in the season. But what do you want to see out of your team as you're getting closer to the conference meet?
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. Depending on how many entries there are, it's going to be an early early morning and a late night. Just a one-day deal down at Youngstown. Pretty much racing everyone, not running some of the top distance runners that already are kind of solidified in all their marks heading into the MECs. But for the most part, we're competing 95% of the roster. And it's just another opportunity to kind of tune up and get some reps in. For some others, they're still chasing that top 16 mark to get into their event and to conference. And the more people we get qualified, the best chance that we have at making a run at some high team finishes. And the women on their best possible day, we're hoping third or fourth. For the men, fifth or sixth. I really think both of those are doable. But we got to get a few more people qualified, and we got to show up and do it. So we got 2 weeks to kind of straighten things out and get things looking promising.
Well, Coach, thank you for coming on today. Good luck this coming week.
Thanks, Jagger.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now is head softball coach Sara Scoone. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, you opened up the opening weekend with a 3-1 record. Started out on Sunday with Emory and Henry and Carson Newman. It was a 9-0 victory over Emory and Henry in 5 innings, 2-1 loss Carson Newman. Just your overall thoughts on that opening day.
Oh, I think the story of the day really went down to how cold it was. I mean, it was literally, I cannot stress this enough to all of our listeners out there. It was so unbelievably cold that I have no idea how anyone on our team or the other teams played. I mean, truly, I don't know how they held a ball. Just like a little backstory, me and our pitching coach, we were charting that day, and we had to go back and forth with who's holding the pen because we couldn't make it more than like 2 batters at a time. But yeah, it was an amazing performance to come out and have great base running, get a lot of runners on base, and Emory and Henry and Kylie Burdick with the shutout there. We both talked after the game, too. Was that the best she threw? No. But is that the best that you can throw in 16-degree weather? Probably. She did a really great job there. There were no walks, and outfield played a heck of a game. Oh, my goodness. Our outfield really kept us in the game, that game there. But, yeah, truly the storyline of the Emory and Henry, our base running was phenomenal. We did put the ball in play. We had minimal strikeouts. I also don't think we had any walks that game. I don't think we walked. So I know Kylie didn't have any walks, but I don't think we walked either in that game, other than the 6 hit by pitches.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that helped a lot. But so then you go into Carson Newman. Carson Newman was very athletic. It was a really, really good game. I think that game came down truly to you're opening up. It's your first time on dirt or, on a field. We haven't really been outside much because of the snow that we've gotten here. And we had some situational awareness in the 7th inning that really did us in. We led off that inning with a walk on defense, and that'll always kill you in a 1-1 ball game, and it did, Now we were the home team. We had a chance to come back, and we didn't have a good 7th inning hitting. So we learned from that, and the next day we were able to bounce back.
And you talk about that next day. It was a 1-0 win over Lincoln Memorial in the first game and an explosion in the second game. 15-1 in 5 innings over Tusculum. 2 teams that made the NCAA tournament last year. What did you like about your team's performance on Monday?
It's weird. I don't think, and they're probably going to be like, God, Coach, we won 2 games. Like, give us a break, right? When we played Lincoln Memorial, that was a great fight from our team. We were very resilient. It was not clean ball. We did not have good at-bats. We were swinging pitches all over the place, really weren't seeing it well. We did luck out in a situation where we caught their defense sleeping, and that's kind of what took the advantage there of coming out on top. Our defense really ended up persevering there in that game. There was a play by Delaney that truly saved that game. Mm-hmm. But, in my opinion, from defense, it really did save it. I also want to kind of point out in that game, Shelby McDaniels played a wonderful left field. She was given so many balls there. And then there was a catch that Lily Burns made in right center where I think that would have been a game changer also. So there were some really key defensive plays there that kept us in that ball game. Kylie Burdick, again, keeping us in the ball game when the game got a little bit strenuous. And it was an all man on deck type of game too. We had a lot of people in that game. But yeah, do you want me to just go ahead and talk about Tusculum?
Yeah, might as well. A lot of
right?
stuff to talk about.
I'm on a roll. So, so then we go in and we play Tusculum next. And in between the games, we discuss the things that we needed to clean up. We're a little all over the place, taking at-bats into defense, taking defense into the at-bats. It was just very a chaotic, I would say, minded game.
So going into Tusculum, we had to clean that up. So really what kind of took place there was our pitch selection was much better. We were able to adjust in the box. They were throwing us consistently inside. We were able to step off, kind of open our front foot a little bit more, and drive the ball to left center. That's something that we haven't done in a while. And we wore out the left side, and it was really great to see that. That helped us out. And then you look at our defense and our pitching performance there. We had a couple walks in that game on the mound, which will limit moving forward. But defense really showed out. Z had a really great game at second base there. Again, our corners were working. The small ball we were able to capitalize on defensively. Just a lot of things. Our outfield I'm so proud of. Really just a lot of things going on this first weekend. So yeah, that's where I'm kind of at.
And you mentioned a lot of things, and you mentioned the play that Delaney Warnick made. It was at shortstop, and a former right fielder. When I first saw the live stats, I thought maybe a typo. They put a position in wrong because we hadn't really talked. And then she's playing shortstop in the second game. I was like, oh no, this is for real. So just kind of talk about the team player she's been moving to shortstop and just what she's been able to do there.
It's incredible. I talk to my parents a lot after every game, and just highlights of kind of things that I should probably say to the team a little bit more, to be honest, just to let them know I am proud. Delaney's been so great there. I addressed it late fall and kind of pulled her aside along with our other middles, and I said, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to try this. We're going to see how it goes. She's very athletic. She's very coachable. She's very team-driven. I never have to worry about that. But she made some plays this weekend where, it was truly incredible. There was one ball in the Tusculum game where Megan Stump was on the mound, and Megan jumped up for it, tipped it. It went back. Delaney was able to get that and turn 2 on her own. Now, I don't know if Delaney's ever played middles before. She has never led me on to think that. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say she knew exactly what she was doing. And it was really great to see that. I have to give kudos, too, to when we do a shift like that, to have Zaylee Seda, when she played shortstop all last year, and then you take her and you're putting her over at second, and then she just buys right into, and she's all in it, and she's right there, and she's turning 2, and she's there on bunts. That's the stuff that you love to see too, right? It's a full team effort, but yes, I am very, very proud of Delaney.
And now you're coming off a strong week and starting out the season 3-1. You won't be on the field again in a game until February 21st. So what you want to see out of your team, this next week and a half or so practice as you're looking into that Seymour Sports Complex Classic?
We actually came out so aggressive and so all over the place this first weekend where we just have to clean up where we are with our minds. We have to, on defense, understand our situations, where we want to go with the ball, understand our pitching staff and how they work. We don't really give up many walks. Players we're not very much of a strikeout pitching staff. So defense does have to understand the situations before they end up coming true. So that's one of the things, too, that we're really going to emphasize. But along with taking our at-bats, we're so aggressive, we kind of got to reel that in a little bit. I don't think if we don't get hit by a pitch, it's very rare that we're walking, right? So, and I would, what coach addresses the team and says, hey, get a walk, right? I'm not saying that, but I am saying our discipline needs to be a little bit more selective. We need to hone in on that. But once we do that, and once we really can start putting 2 pieces together at the same time, that's where we're at. Because right now with the team, and I feel like I'm rambling, but that's okay. Right
podcast
now,
for a reason.
Yeah, right? Podcast. So, but where we're at right now is the fact that if we can win games when we're at 75%, we'll be a good team. If we can take 75% and move it to 80, if we can take 80 and move it to 85, and then yonder and keep going, right? We'll be pretty tough. And that's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to peak right now. I'm not looking for 100% right off the bat every single game. But I am looking to stay above that 75% and for it to stay a team effort and to really just have everyone staying included and contributing to each win. That's where we're at. And it was really great to see this past weekend.
All right, Coach, congrats on the big weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Excited for it.